everybody, Joel Ledlow, Evolution JKD. I'm joined by Ian. We're going to review a quick little clip here showing a lead hook. I'm going to talk about a really big problem especially in the Jeet Kune Do world, the use of skill speed. And that's where you're doing a predetermined movement. You go super fast and flashy. It's basically like movie fighting. And what happens is the person doing it tends to feel really cool because they get all the feedback. It's like hitting a heavy bag and you feel all the feedback. When you're hitting properly and with the proper physics, you don't really feel a whole lot. You feel like, because all the kinetic energy is going into the target. And we're going to look at this video here and just discuss some of the whatevers. I don't know. Here, let's just look at it. Not a very long video. There we go.
Oh, man.
So Ian's already cringing because the hook is really clipping past. That's basic 101 of don't do it. Your energy is going all over. Your recovery is really, really low. When the other guy isn't threatening punches, you can do that and do some posy stuff at the end.
Oh, no. No.
That's the problem when you see instructors get all into themselves instead of into the objective of scoring a hit. I want to feel cool and look at me move. Nah, nobody gives a shit. I want to see how you move. He's showing off some fast twitch. This guy isn't all that young. Ian, you're faster than this guy.
It doesn't even matter at this point. I mean, you could be super...
But there's no power in that because the power is going back. He's not going into the target.
If you...
We can go back and watch the guy holding. Watch his focus. It doesn't really move.
And why would you throw your shoulder first in any kind of punch?
Well, because you want to tell him you're throwing a punch. Obviously. Hey, look at me throwing my punch!
I am so fast, I'm going to tell you I'm going to throw you a punch with my shoulder and you still can't catch it.
He literally did a good punch and said no.
Yeah.
And why is he going up?
Yeah. If anything, drop your weight. And look, he destabilized himself from that hit.
Oh, he recovered on that one. I don't teach it like this. So this hook to that way?
Nope.
No, don't do that. Chest palpitation, I don't know what he's doing.
I think he's like trying to create a whip with his shoulder, which in some cases has an application, but not for a hook punch. Not when you're toe-to-toe with somebody.
Yeah, you don't have time for this to do what? That's you're showing off to an audience and demonstrating skill speed.
Right. The other thing is that you're putting yourself at a disadvantage because your shoulder isn't in line with your body. When you are throwing a punch, we talk so much about structure, and there's a lot of different structures for how to throw punches, but this is not one of them. When it comes into throwing a hook punch, you need to have everything stable because you're putting your entire weight behind it. So if your punch is coming back from here, like, okay, yeah, then that might be a haymaker or something, but in this particular position, that's how you want to train that? Like, no, you want to train optimally.
And even I'm coming here, I'm putting my arm behind my shoulder. That means that I've disconnected my body weight to this hit. But if I drive in, it's not a very big movement for me on my side. I'm driving here, and it's coming in with whatever hook punch you want to do. You're coming in, pop, that movement, but my body is now driving that force, and I'm driving it into the target. So the target is here. I want to drive into it, not cut over there. I don't want to. Why would you punch over that way? You're putting my kinetic force over there. I want to drive my kinetic force through the target, not clip the target.
Factually?
There are points to clipping, but I'm not usually a big fan of them.
Factually, when you have your arm behind the rest of your body and your shoulder is out, no matter what, you are structurally weaker. You cannot push somebody from this. You cannot have any kind of resistance because it all goes to the front of your shoulder or your rotator cuff. It's imperative that you're keeping your hand in front of your body and putting everything into that point of contact before throwing something else, because at that point you might as well throw a shoulder bump.
When you're back here, this is a pectoral contraction, and all of your power is coming from a pectoral contraction. When you use the pec to stabilize the shoulder instead, and you rely on the hips and the legs to generate that rotational and forward power of your hook, and you're going into the target, that's when you're going to have a lot more power. Can you go boom and move through? You can, but I don't even see boxers do it in this particular way of the whipping. You know what? I will say in some cases I do see boxers because they have 16-ounce gloves on, and they're trying to whip it around, boom, and they're coming around big giant gloves here. But if you don't have that, why? And I don't want to hook from here anyway. I wouldn't want to come in with a hook in in a fight, in a boxing match, that might be different because you're scoring points and it's a different setup. I would be hitting to something over here. I would have slipped off, and then I'm coming back in, and I want my hand to be first in moving with there.
Haymakers are a thing. The people
Yeah.
have been knocked out by them all the time. But any
Mhm.
professional martial arts place, boxing, karate, whatever, you will almost never see this at any decent school. You will never see somebody say, hey, throw your shoulder into a punch first and then try to wing it around. That just is not a cultivator. And to see somebody
I
doing that at a seminar is like, and no offense to the guy or whatever, but these are the kinds of things that we look out for about being like, hey, these are just bad mechanics. He could be a great fighter, but this is terrible mechanics to teach to somebody
yeah.
that's not as good as you.
I've trained not just in Jeet Kune Do, but I've trained in a lot of other things that they all throw a hook punch. None of them have ever taught this way. Again, I have worked in some of the stuff where you are doing here, but it's a longer weapon. It's in a different scenario than this scenario. There's a weird way to pronounce that word, but different scenario. And anyway, so one, don't clip it. Number two, not with the shoulder or chest first. You want to drive that in. I've got like tons of hook punches out there. If nothing else, check out my Jeet Kune Do fundamentals.
3, go check out that course. 3, do your research on the mechanics of a hook punch, and don't just take it from a Jeet Kune Do perspective. Take it from a boxing perspective, from any other martial arts that throws a hook punch, and make the decision for yourself.
Hold a focus mitt with your buddy. Do the one where you do this and clip it, and you're going to feel all that hook punch. They're not. Then do the one where you stabilize this chest and you go pop, and you're not going to feel squat, but they are. And if you want to really do it, hold a focus mitt on your shoulder, or hold a paddle on your shoulder. Hold some sort of pad on your shoulder. Let them go into your body mass so they can really hit into your body mass. Not just holding it here. You can just put that pad right up on your shoulder. Just hold it up there and let them go into your body mass. One is going to clip off your body mass. You're going to be like this. And then the other one, they're going to hit, and it's going to jar you over. Well, if you could do that to the shoulder, you can do that to the head. And like Ian said, go check it out for yourself. Don't believe us. I never believed anybody, because you're not going to believe anybody until you figure it out for yourself.
We're just two guys on the internet that have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, we have no experience whatsoever. Zero. I watched a YouTube. No, I didn't even do that.
I watched a UFC fight, and this is how they fight. Subscribe to the channel.
It's not true. We have a shitload of experience. Just take one of us, and it's like a whole martial arts school. And Ian's like still really young. I'm not nearly as young, and I have a shitload of experience with a lot of very good people. And that's what we're sharing, is the information we got from those people and from those experiences, whether it's our own or someone else's. We're sharing those fundamentals to help you train and guide yourself into being a better version of yourself.
Hey, would you all like to see tutorials on specific movements? We would like to know. And do you want us to take a look at other videos? We'd also like to know as well. Please keep the comments respectful. We are really open to having a conversation, and it's not we know everything and we're right, but we're trying to just give an honest look at movement as opposed to bashing people. And we hope that you can approach this table with us in the same manner.
And this video is just this one clip. It's not looking at everything else from this martial artist. Maybe we'll look at some of his other movements, but it's just this particular one movement from the video. That's all we were looking at.
Yeah. Subscribe to the channel.
Yay!